Yeah, good morning, Eric.
Morning, Mr. K.
All right, so today our topic is about discrimination. Yeah, and for this one, we can discuss whether you think it is good or it is not, and like something like when it is good or when it isn't.
Mm.
Yep. And for this topic, I think we can talk about two question word and then to discuss, which is like what is discrimination and what action is or what attitude is counted and what isn't. This is my opinion. The first question word we can discuss, and after that, we can continue asking why, which is the reason of discrimination.
But how do you
And
define, yeah,
mm,
how do you define discrimination?
yep, yeah, okay, this is a good starting point. The definition. Uh, to me, I think discrimination is like you treat some group of people or somebody uh, uh, less um, less fairly or differently from others.
Mm.
Yep. How about you? The definition, is it something similar to this?
Mm, yeah, discrimination is not in my dictionary.
Oh, so you
Mm.
think
So
this
the
is not a
this is not the
something?
concept I will focus on.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So right, so we can also go in the same direction, which is what the definition, and we try to I try to ask you a few example
Mm.
to see whether this is like counted as discrimination.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, but but before that, the time I would say treat treat people unfair is kind of
Mm,
like discrimination. Mm, and two questions.
mm,
First, does it need to be intentionally or unintention unintentions treatments can also be counted? Mm. So this is the first question. And the second
mm,
question, how to define fair? This is something
mm,
we did before, then we don't need to repeat the same loops again.
mm.
Mm.
Yeah. So the intention or unintention. Um. Uh. Yeah, I think because the your second question, the fair, I think this is very subjective.
Mm.
Uh, Sometimes you even like not notice, not realize. So the first question, it linked to the first question, whether it is intentionally or unintentionally. Yeah, I think it is. They both can be included in because something is subjective. Something you don't think it is discrimination, but to other people's eyes, it is. Something you don't think it is unfair, but to other people's eyes, it is.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, shall we continue with the
Mm.
example to see whether it is discrimination?
Mm.
Okay. So, firstly, um, let's say, okay, today you have a property and then you want to rent it out. Assume that that is a shop or that is a house. You want to rent it out, and uh, at this time you let's say you have two guys wanted to rent a house, and they are from different different races, and uh, then uh, you rent to the race that you think is better than the others, or you in your mind you have the thinking that okay, I don't want to race to this particular race, for example. So do you think this is discrimination, which is more similar to racism, right?
Mm. But just like I say, discrimination is not in my dictionary. And to me, no, there's no discrimination.
Okay, this is more like some it has some consideration, maybe cost and benefit, something like that, right?
I mean, even though when you discriminate somebody, you also came across the cost and benefit.
Yep.
Right. So
Yep.
nothing changed according to the pragmatic theory.
Yeah. This is why just now at the beginning I say two question word, what and why. Yeah, I think if we put these what and why to the example just now, which is like uh, uh, what I already give the example, and then why we discriminate in that case, and we can actually find the reason of doing it, right? The reason for doing it, and then you have your consideration, so you do that.
Have your consideration. You do. Have you ever tried do anything? Don't have any intention. Don't have any reason. Don't have any purpose.
No.
So it kind of like, yeah. In Chinese, this is like say equal to no say. In Chinese, it's called 说等于没说. You kind of like use a very technical terms, use very high class sentence and make it like theorize it. But at the end, it didn't reveal anything.
Yep. Yeah, actually, to me also, I think discrimination is almost everywhere. When you make decision, if you like choose this but not choose this guy but not that guy, it could be like my choice, my preference, or any reason can come out. But when we stand on, let's say, some ethical perspective or moral values perspective, then only then discrimination, this term, come out. Yeah. So actually, in my thinking, I feel like discrimination is related a little bit to moral values and ethic. If we take away these two things, like you say, it is kind of like not a thing, and also not in my dictionary.
Yeah. But I want to say discrimination is real. It did exist.
Yep. But in many things, we can also say it's discrimination, right? Many things when you make decisions, we choose this, not that. And also, why I came out with this topic is because that day, I forgot the whole thing we talk about. But I remember we discussed in the previous topic, there is a part talk about screening. I forgot it's screening for what. Yeah, but when we do screening, we sometimes discriminate, and that is a very quick and effective way to screen something, right? Yep. And yeah, so in that case, screening actually it actually help in screening. We can like treat this maybe this group of people as a particular categories and another group of people with the similar uh, uh, character, and then they are in another categories. Then we do the screening based on this, based on probability, something like that. Then it is a kind of like a ways to do the screening effectively.
Mm.
Yep. So yeah. So actually, I think many times when we say discrimination as a bad things, for example, racism, or maybe the sex discriminations, which is like maybe you treat men and women differently in some particular subject. Yep. And when we say it is like negative things, I think it almost involve in moral values or ethics. Other than that, actually, we can just see that as uh, like a screening, and then based on uh, the decision maker's interest, yeah, what he want to get, and then he use the screening. Yeah, but sometimes it involves some moral values. Then maybe uh, the the people or the public, they feel like this is not uh, in line with moral values, ethics, or not fair to them, not to the decision maker, so that they come up with this term, which is like discrimination, right?
But just now talk about always, and it make me yeah, it made me suspect whether it is always. And yeah, one example is yesterday, one of my colleagues, she submitted the resignation letter.
Okay.
And the reason she submitted the resignation letter is actually she feel unfair. And then because there's another colleague, which is also her friend, get the same salary and also get a higher bonus. Yeah, of course, actually the bonus, the bonus value is not the difference of the bonus is insignificant, just like $20. But
Okay.
it's just a feeling, because everyone can see. Yeah, if you have eyes, if you have eyes, you can see a difference. And kind of like one she could be kind of like the leader, and also the person who pass the job, who allocate the job, who
Yep.
manage the, can I say departments? No, maybe. But it's not a very important role. And another of his friends who get the same salary as her is also the same position.
Okay.
But less capable. Okay, less efficient and less knowledgeable, something like that.
Okay.
And to me, at least in my opinion, is also less responsible. And but maybe from the management side, they are the same. And also some of the management prefer the less capable girls. Maybe her attitude, maybe her other personality make it. And so the girl who submit the resignation letter, she feel unfair. Their salary is the same, and their workload is not the same. Yeah, and she find another job. and the another job provide her the same salary, and according to her speech, it is kind of like the traveling distance is quite similar. And but of course, she can try new things. She can try to do something new. And but to me, this is not the main reason. And I already confirmed with her. Yeah, of course, this is not the main reason. And when she talked to the management, it's kind of like she say she want to try accounting. She want to, because she spent so much time study accounting in the past, spent so much money study in accounting in the past. So it kind of like she don't want to waste the knowledge. She want to give herself a try, give herself a chance to try. Everyone can know this is an excuse, but I'm not sure whether management can actually feel that. Yeah, because sometimes the person in the seat of the people in the show, they can't see the whole drama.
Yep.
Yeah, the people who play the role, they couldn't see what's the impact of their action, of their behavior. So that, and I truly believe they don't actually know the real issue. Yeah. But other stuff, no. Yeah, all other stuff. Many of other stuff definitely will know. At least to me, it is too obvious. And thus, just like you say, the moral in this case is not always right. But how do you define unfair in these circumstances?
Okay. When talk about work, to me, sometimes it is like quite unclear. I mean, for example, bonus, how much to give to somebody, and because bonus basically they don't like sometimes they don't have a clear rule or a clear standard to follow. For example, they didn't say, okay, you work for okay, any staff work below 2 years.
Okay,
can get how much?
I give you an idea. They comes in the same month. Yeah, they come into this. They join this company in the same one in the same month. So no
two stuff, right?
Yeah, and also their salary are the same at this current moment. They're in the same department. So the girl who submit the girl who submit the resignation letter is more capable than another girl who is not that much capable in my eyes. And the overall performance, of course, is the girl who submit resignation letter is better. And I teach her many things, the Excel, and she really can learn it, and she are willing to learn. I like her more.
Higher productivity, right?
What?
Does she has a higher productivity? Yes, right.
Yeah, of course. And okay, and also the bonus the bonus structure is kind of like the bonus system, or the incentive system is kind of like all the management, 5 of the management, they give the mark, they give a score in a few part, maybe intelligence, maybe passion, teamwork, overall overall performance, respect, something like that. Yeah, they give an overall.
Do the management tell you guys about what do they give you the score? I mean, based on what?
Yeah, we know, but everyone have their own bias, so the score they give is quite subjective.
Yep. Yeah, actually, this is what I want to say. Before you tell me, I thought your company doesn't tell what do they follow to give the bonus. Because
no.
in my
they tell, but actually for last year bonus, because they only decided to give away the bonus last kind of like at the end of the year. So yeah, at the end of the year. So but the judgments. So it's kind of like we don't know how they mark the score, how they give us a score. Yeah, we only came across we only came through the whole year, and at the end they say they want to use this standard to distribute the incentive, something like that.
Yeah, so it is like let you know just before giving the bonus, right? Yep. So go back to it, which is whether it is fair or unfair. In this case, I think during work there are, even though you tell what is the rule or what can attribute to the bonus, there are still many unclear or subjective things. So to people to the staff, what do they expect? They expect that, okay, who work better, who has a higher productivity, get more bonus. So many times the rule is not really clear and easy to like make it in a number. Yeah, you couldn't compare like that, right? You couldn't like, okay, I get it is not the in the school, like you have a test, you have how many marks you have. Let's say you get 70, the other get 80, so he's better than you. But in work, many of the times you don't get something like a score. You don't know how do they give you the score. So in the employees' eyes, they actually compare the productivity, and also this is also kind of like got a little bit biased or subjective, because not every people can see your productivity, right? Maybe you think you work better than the others, but in the reality, it may not be the case always, right?
What if it is the case? Just like what I say, people got eyes can differentiate.
Yeah. So to me, I think there is always so-called unfair, because it just depends on who see the case. Yeah, when employees see the case, they say, okay, I would better. Everybody can see it. But from the management, they really did some scoring, but maybe they didn't put credit to that maybe higher productivity. They also follow something. So from different people's eyes, they are always unfair.
Yeah, you are right. Company have the right to do it. Company have they can have their own mindset. They can have their own standard to judge whether and to give higher bonus to this staff or not. It's based on what they believe. It's based on what they want to cultivate. Yeah, but if a company they don't want to cultivate the productivity, if the company don't want to cultivate some other more important, more critical, more crucial to the business, in terms of operation, in terms of the sales, in terms of other things, then it will have some problem. of course they can choose to do that because the shareholder, the director, they are skin in the game. Yeah, they take out the money, they pay you the salary. This is out of their pocket. If they suffer loss, they are also losing money. They do something they think is good. They do something they think is right.
They bear the responsibility, right? They bear the so-called the losses if there is. Yeah. 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 Also,
So,
in my in my father's company. Oh, yeah, you continue.
Yeah. So last point I want to make is, so why discrimination is not in my dictionary? Because everyone can choose whether they want to discriminate somebody, but you need to pay a price. You came across your cost and benefit analysis. At the end, you decided whether the mental benefit generated from the discrimination is higher than okay, what I want to say is, at the end, you discriminate somebody is because the benefit greater than cost. And inside this, there are two components, maybe the mental cost, maybe the mental benefit. And yeah, and this is important. This is a big portion in the cost and benefit components. So one is the mental benefit generated from discrimination.
Yeah.
And also the mental cost generated from the discrimination. For example, why you discriminate? If two of the person, their personality, their capability are the same. One is a Chinese, another is Malay. Okay, you say I want to hire Chinese.
Yep.
Yeah, and so you have to pay the price. So yeah, so this is your choice.
Yeah.
And the mental cost of discriminate the Malay is very, very little, and the mental benefit of like hiring a Chinese is higher. And you can come out a lot of reasons. A simple reason is, in our company, majority of the staff of all of the staff are Chinese. So if I hire Chinese, and
communication, right?
Yeah, communication will be easier, and we will have less obstacle in communication.
Culture difference, something like that.
Yeah, and what language you are using in your company? Chinese.
Yeah.
But can a company, you see the international company, the biggest company, maybe you say the biggest top 10, top 5, top 20 company, how many company inside the company, how many of them have the culture communicate using Chinese?
International, I think that it shouldn't be Chinese.
How about in Malaysia?
Malaysia.
They use English.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, because
even though
the customer base.
Yeah, so it's a problem. You see, okay, in your company, you want to fix your company, but how do you fix yourself to the market? If you cultivate the Chinese culture, you cultivate the Chinese communications in your company, how do you communicate with your customer, with the outside? Are you saying you are doing business with Chinese? Yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah.
But why don't you cultivate English culture? Cultivate if your businesses require you to speak a lot of language, English, Malay, Chinese, just like your father company require your staff to speak a lot of language, and then why don't your father abandons the racist mindset and hire different staff, hire different racist staff inside the company, and in long term it can contribute it.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
exactly. So,
So the fair and unfair, this is very subjective, depend on what lens you are using to see the world.
yeah, yeah, I agree with this. Um, just now from your point, we can see, we can find out reason for why we discriminate. But I think more importantly is the result it generates. Because of your discrimination, let's say you get, okay, we make them into numbers. You get 50, and then if you don't discriminate, maybe you get 45, something like that. So it's there is some effect of discrimination. Yeah, let's say if you discriminate uh, the race, and then maybe let's say hiring, and you hire all Chinese staff, and the point uh, uh, the point you get maybe is like better communication within the company, the same culture. But at the same time, you can get you can lose some point because of uh, the customer. Yeah, when customers come to your company, they see, oh, all Chinese, but they are Malay or Indian. Maybe they consider some other companies which has the Malay staff, something like that. So you need to see the result to compare whether which one is a better choice, whether or not to discriminate. Yeah. In my father's company, actually there is a similar situation. Previously, I think for many years, for the past 10 years, I say, in my father's company, just in the office, yeah, the admin office, serving the customers, we hire all Chinese, yeah, for the past 10 years. But starting from this year, yeah, this year, uh, they actually decided to hire Malay. Yeah, this is also discrimination because we don't choose Chinese. We specifically want Malay staff to join in the admin office because we found that our businesses actually deals a lot with non-Chinese customers, and also it can help in uh, that yeah in marketing. Yeah, we can get some customers from get some Malay customers because of this easier. Yep. So we actually based on the result, yeah, which is their expectation, which there is a purpose what they want to get, and the reason I think the reason here uh, is not that important compared to the result. The reason sometimes is just to show to uh, the some particular group of people so that uh, they don't feel so unfair, and maybe they do something that can uh, damage your image, something like that, so that to explain to them. Yeah, yeah. But I think to the decision maker, they mainly look at the result, what they want to get. Yeah, and then in your case, like the company, yeah, I believe that your company give higher. I don't know. Maybe it can be two reasons. One of the reason is that they are unintentional. They don't know. Maybe
Yes.
calculation errors. Just only 20, right? $20. Maybe they don't realize. Second reason is that maybe they really like this stuff more for any reason. They want to like acknowledge her reward them, reward her. Any reason it can be. Yeah, but the reason, maybe they didn't like make it clear of the reason, so that in the employees' eyes they think this is unfair. But the management, they only care the result. Maybe they want this staff to uh, uh, to to stay with the company, to be more loyal, to feel like being acknowledged. It can be any reason, but this is what the company want to see.
Yeah, and
And
it can be any reason. But one funny thing, one very ironic thing, which I can tell you is, the staff who less capable one, and I say is less responsible. Yeah, right. And but another management think she is very responsible.
mm,
Mm.
no.
So what's the problem?
So the problem could be like the company didn't see uh, the the productivity. I mean, actually, their action make them worse. Yeah, but yeah, they just
Maybe.
didn't
Yeah.
they didn't see it clearly. So they
Maybe
didn't
this is
get
a
the
case.
result.
Maybe this is a case. Maybe this is because of their bias, or maybe it's because of my bias.
Mm.
So it, that's yeah. Just this is just one case study. I mean, not not really something like. I think it cannot be acceptable. I mean, not something I think it cannot be accepted. Yeah, and yeah, you have your choice. I also can have my choice. I'm not a tree, I can move. You also not a tree, you can move.
Yep.
And my question is, what if you found that you are being discriminated by somebody and you actually live below your optimal? What would you do? In other words, you can find a better choice.
Yep. Yep. You can also fight with this kind of unfair to.
You don't need to fight, you just leave. Why you want to spend your energy to fight with them?
Yeah, I think it depends, right? Depends like which one is a better choice. Let's say if you quit, and then let's say if you couldn't get a job,
No,
you
I mean,
haven't find a job yet to.
no, I mean, if you couldn't find a job, then how can you say that there's a place that appreciate you? Yeah,
Yep.
you must find a place first. You must find a better choice first. Just
Yep,
now I say if you have better choice, if you have better choice. In this case, just now, your case is you haven't found you haven't found a better choice. So you need to find a better choice first, and then and then you can choose. Maybe you can use it to maybe negotiate. But in this case, it's very difficult to negotiate because this is not. This is kind of like a structural problem, structural issue, the system issue, and they can increase your salary 1 times, 2 times. But will they change? Will their behavior change? Will the system
Yep.
change?
Yeah.
No.
Do you mean that once you fight for that, argue for that,
Next time they
they
remember
actually
you. They remember you.
yeah, they have it leave a bad image to you, right? To yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. This is what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, but of course, yeah, you also can have your own consideration. For example, I just want to increase my raise. I mean, I just want to increase my pay. So maybe I can find a better choice, but I not necessarily need to leave the company because I just want an easy life. I just want to show my company I actually can get better salary outside the market. Do you think you want to pay me higher. If you don't want, then I leave. You find another new staff. So yeah, this you can have your own consideration.
Yes, yeah, this is
and also not many people put their eyes on the career. Maybe they focus more on their family, on some relationship. Career is just maybe a transition. Yeah, and to the girls who submit a resignation letter, and she say, yeah, just maybe after a few years she will like marriage. She'll get married, and then she will not going to work.
Oh.
Yeah, something like this. So this is also her choice. And yeah, and this is one case study. Another case study I want to bring out is, how about inflation? Do you think inflation is a discrimination?
Inflation. Do you mean inflation? Yeah, I have no idea. How can inflation be discrimination? Do you mean maybe these things the price increase, but the other maybe doesn't increase or doesn't increase so much?
Okay. Maybe what I want to say is not inflation. What I want to say is money printing. Yeah, the central bank or the government spend a lot of money, and then fiscal spending, and also maybe the expansion monetary policies, and to me it's also a discrimination. If if you want to say according to your definition. Why? Because let's say governments, they spend a lot. They spend a lot, and then they provide a lot of job to the person who lose a job, or they keep the job. Maybe like the Malaysia airline. Many people think that it should go bankruptcy. It shouldn't keep operating and keep losing money. And because government pay for it, and all the person who work for the company didn't create value, didn't create positive value, because the whole company keep losing money. And who fund for that? Government fund the company. Government keep that survive. And government print money, or technically speaking, they borrow money from central bank and and give away to this company and support the survive. And the staff who work for this company, they don't provide value, but they still receive the pay. Is it fair to other people who are in other airline company, for example, Asia, or other company and other staff who work in other industry? And also the company who get the money, I mean in this case the Malaysia airline, they can spend, and also the staff can spend the money. The CEO, the top executive, they get high pay. They create zero value, or they create negative value, and then they get a high pay, and then they can borrow, they can buy house, they push the price house higher. They can buy things, and also because there's an increase of demand, it push the price upwards. And when more and more this kind of company, and when more and more government subsidize spending to this company, and this part of group don't create value, and but they have additional money. They have the money, and they can use the money to buy something, and they buy something from other company, from other individual who are productivity, who really produce the goods to the market, who really build a house, who really build the food, who really grow the food. They use the money the government give them and buy the thing, and so it may lead to imbalance of demand and supply, and it may lead to price increase. And also another case which is similar. Try to imagine rich people, rich guy, because of the expansion monetary policy, and central bank, commercial bank willing to lend money to rich people but not poor people. You look at the credit cards interest rate is still like 16% to 20% or even higher, just keep increasing. And when central bank drop the interest rate to zero or to near zero, their interest rate didn't cut. For example, let's say central bank drop the fund rate, let's say from 4% to 1%, so it's a 3% reduction. And it can reflect on the mortgage loans. But it don't reflect on the credit card loans. Credit card loans didn't reduce 5%. Personal loan didn't reduce 5%. Car loans maybe, but not much. Mortgage loans, yes. And some others like if you have some collaterals, or maybe some business, they can collateral something, and some other very, very big company, they can borrow the money at a very, very low interest rate. And this big company, big corporation, very, very wealthy guy, they have a very good relationship with bank. Bank also want to do business with them, and bank willing to give them low interest, and they get the money for almost zero interest rate. And then they just do investment. What kind of investment cannot make more than 1% returns? It's a no-brainer. And also maybe for some company, and maybe it is not in Malaysian market, we cannot find in Malaysia, but in like US, in some other developed country, they have something like interest only loans, which means let's say you borrow 1 million, and let's say the interest rate is 1%. Let's say you borrow 100 million and the interest rate is 1%. And every year you just need every year you just need to pay 1 million interest. You don't need to pay the principals. You just need to let's say the terms is like 10 years. At the end of the year, at the end of the 10 years, you have to fully pay back the principal, which is 100 million, plus the last year, the 10 years interest, which is 1 million, so equal to 101 million. And so you have your cash flow is very, very strong for the first 9 years, and your loan is kind of like you can really utilize the amount you borrow, unlike you take a personal loan to invest in stock market. Every month you need to pay an installment, right? And if your cash flow chain break, you lose your job, or something bad thing happen, you need a lot of money, and then you lose everything, because you cannot pay back one installment, that means you breach the contract, you breach the loan contract.
Yeah.
But for the wealthy people, for some big corporation, they can borrow the interest only loans. They don't need to worry if there's economic downturns, economic recessions, financial crisis within these 10 years. They don't need to worry because they still have a lot of year. When the markets, they can wait. They can wait until the market go up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the money, the borrowing of them have longer duration.
Yeah.
And also one another thing is, at the end of the 10 years, okay, they can borrow another new fresh loan to pay back the old loans, and then do the same thing again. Just need to pay interest. Can normal people did that? Can SME have play the same trick? But big corporation can play the same trick, and they can do this kind of trick, and then they can use this kind of loan to buy all the small company, to make all the company die, and then maintain their monopoly status.
Yeah.
Do you think it's fair? Do you think it isn't a discrimination?
Yeah.
And also, yeah, the asset price keep going up. Wealthy people, because they are able to access to the asset, I mean, they can buy the asset. And poor people, they cannot buy the asset.
Yeah.
And all of them, they can open a brokerage account, but the first thing is mathematic advantage don't stand with them. 1,000 double the stock price rise 100%. Your 1,000 just become 2,000. But the wealthy guy, 1 million become 2 million, or 10 million become 20 million.
Yeah.
And the second is the transaction cost will be very high. For wealthy people, they have a back door. They can talk to the brokerage firms, and then they can get a very, very low trading fee, transaction fees. Can poor people have this privilege? No, because your amount is very little. Your transaction volume is very, very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backdoor.
And yeah, but nowadays this become better and better, and because a lot of brokerage firms, because this market is still very competitive, and especially in US, we have a lot of apps, maybe like eToro, Robinhood, maybe a Tiger, maybe Moomoo, a lot, and interactive brokers. So they compete with each other, and so they draw the transaction cost down. Yeah. And also crypto in crypto markets. In crypto market, of course you still have these kind of differences, but the transaction cost is even lesser. I mean, the wealthy guy still can get a cheaper transactions fees. Yeah. The wealthy guy, and also like the institutional investors, still they just need to pay a fraction of the transaction fee the retail investor pay. Thus the retail investor they don't need to pay very high transaction fee compared to the traditional markets.
Yeah. Yeah, you mean for normal people is the transaction cost is low, but for bigger bigger buyer or corporation, their transactions cost is even lower, right?
Yeah, but this apply to every market, traditional market and crypto market. For example, what I want to say is the percentage, the transaction cost percentage in traditional market, traditional finance market to retail investor, maybe it could be 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. But in crypto, it could be maybe 0.1% or 0.02% or 1%. 1% is very, very high. And you have better choice. Yeah. For example, the top crypto exchange FTX, it offer you as low as 0.02%. 0.02. What does it mean? Can traditional markets do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in crypto, it kind of like more fair. In this case, yeah. But in crypto markets, yeah, who is kind of like, because this is unregulated industry, not fully regulated, and people can have the insider information, or people can kind of like attract the retail investor to buy, and then they sell the shitcoin to the retail investor, and nobody regulate them. So unlike the traditional market, in traditional market, this is illegal action.
Yeah.
So it depends whether you see whether what lengths you're using to see the thing. Okay, but the final point I want to make is you are not free and you can move. When people discriminate you, you find a way, either fight back, either leave.
Yep.
Don't want to play the game with them. Want to play the game with the person who discriminate you. You try to find a person who appreciate you and who don't take advantage of you. They want to grow a bigger pie with you. They want to achieve a win-win situation. They don't focus on the short term. They focus on the long term. You want to play the game with these kind of people. You don't want to play the game with a short sider.
Yeah.
And when people discriminate you, you also can use it as a filter. You just don't want to work with this kind of people. You thank them. Thank you telling me you are not the person I should spend time with you. Thank you for telling me this.
Yep.
And so I don't need to spend time to investigate, to spend years to cooperate with you to see whether you are this kind of person. You just tell me you are not the person I want to find. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So yeah, at the beginning, you say discrimination is not a term in your dictionary. So in my mind, I guess this is something like the focus. The focus is not on discrimination. Like the solution you gave just now, like let's say if the system is discriminating, then as an individual we can like we can form our strategy, maybe not stay here, leave, instead of the only choice to like feel unfair and then fight. Is it what you want to
yes
express?
And also the second point is psychologically, when you focus on discrimination, you are blaming somebody and you are trying to push the problem to other people while not solving a problem, not thinking a solution to solve a problem by yourself. Right?
Yep.
Mm.
Okay, so I think I have covered most of the points I want to talk
Yeah.
about. How about you?
Yeah, me too. So talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Goodbye.